yourself when you find you've been hiding inside your mind, feeling like you don't feel nothing at all, walking in a circle and talking to the wall. Up on the mountain, down in the hollow, wind in the pine, wind in the willow, crickets singing under my pillow, starlight shines, I'm bound to follow. You can't fool nobody but yourself when you say you're too lost to locate a way, or that the world is such and such, much too little or a little too much. Up on the mountain, down in the hollow, wind in the pine, wind in the willow, crickets singing under my pillow, starlight shines, I'm bound to follow. It's up to you to let yourself go. There really isn't all that much to know. You got to take what you need, there's just enough. You can feel it if you let yourself touch. Up on the mountain, down in the hollow, wind in the pine, wind in the willow, crickets singing under my pillow, starlight shines, I'm bound to follow. It's up to you to let yourself see that all this time you just had to be there. Really isn't no one to blame at all. You can have a good time, you don't have to fall.
And here we are. It's Saturday the 21st, and it's time for my Saturday live stream, which is usually at this time at 4 o'clock, and I do thank you all who might come and visit me. Let me take a look and see who's visiting me, and then I'll kick off the show with a couple of nice tunes for you. Harvey, what a surprise. I so rarely see you in these quarters. Thank you, Harvey, for being here. One of the nicest things that I've encountered in the course of all of this live streaming stuff that I've been doing is people who take the time to do this thing, and I try to put together a nice show. If you have some friends who haven't heard my music or who haven't heard it in a long time and wonder if I'm still any good at it, tell them to come by and visit, you know. No harm, no foul. They just come and listen to a couple of tunes, and I'm pretty sure I can sell them on what I'm doing here, because I'm really enjoying myself. It gives me something to do. Otherwise, I'd be out stealing hubcaps, and that's probably what's going to happen eventually anyway. This first tune was suggested by my friend Harvey Bojarski, and happy that he mentioned it to me because I'd forgotten that I did this song. Four months ago, last April, on a day coach she come down, and the dusty autumn winds begin to blow. I should have known I couldn't hold her, living out so far from town, and the nights to come along slow to go. Now my baby's left me, she's walking down the line, and the dusty autumn winds begin to blow. All dressed up in red velvet, with her high heel shoes so fine, and the nights to come along slow to go. Well, I should have known before we kissed that you can't keep red velvet on a Port Earth farm like this. I'll call my dog, take my truck and head on down to town, and the dusty autumn winds begin to blow. Well, I should have known before we kissed that you can't keep red velvet on a poor dirt farm like this. I'll call my dog, take my truck and head on down to town, and the dusty autumn winds begin to blow. I'll sit and count the evening stars as they walk around, and the nights to come are long, slow to go. And the nights to come are long, slow to go. And that's an Ian Tyson song, Ian and Sylvia, of course, wonderful singers from Canada. Don't know what it is about Canada. So many great songwriters. This is a song of my own. Riding on a northbound train, leave the South behind, rolling through the blue-gray dawn, feel the past unwind. Hills and valleys, streets and alleys, little towns all in a row. The people I may never meet, in places I may never go. Sometimes feel just like a gambler, watch my fortunes break, or just like some weary rambler, wondering which fork to take. I got my backpack and my guitar, pocket change to pay my way. I bought myself a one-way fare, I'm going home and there I'll stay. Living up to what I said I'd do, girl, you know I'm coming home to you. I'll play some changes while I'm rolling, looking for the words to sing. Take my rhythm from the train tracks and I wonder what the muse will bring. Fellow travelers in this night car, asking me what songs I play. They sometimes strike a harmony as we pass the rattling miles away. Living up to what I said I'd do, girl, you know I'm coming home to you. Giving up the games I tried to play, coming home to you and there I'll stay. Riding on a northbound train, leave the South behind, rolling through the blue-gray dawn, and I feel the past unwind. Ooh, 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 ooh. Northbound train. Written on a train coming up through the grand Okefenokee swamps of Georgia, returning to my home in New York, where I live now happily. Quite so. This is another original tune. I've got a nice mix of originals and unoriginals, what they call covers. A lot of the stuff that I'm going to be doing today is kind of fits more on the country side of what my repertoire is, but I'll make some departures, and I'm always happy if I can to do a request that comes in. Let's see who's visiting me. Oh, Lenny Molotov has a hankering for Moonlight, Palomino. I'll get to that in just a little while. You got that coming to you, my buddy. Lenny Molotov, great songwriter, great guitar player, great friend. Let's see. Now, where was I? Oh, yes. This is a tune from my album that I released in the spring of this year called Salt for Silver. And this is one of the first songs that I wrote that referenced my grandfather, of whom I shall speak a little bit in a few minutes. My grandfather came over from Ireland during the Civil War, and at the age of 12, and by the age of 13, he was out in the Colorado Territory, involved in some things that no 13-year-old should be engaged with, and part of it involved an ill-fated stagecoach robbery, where he stole an enormous amount of money that was minted in Denver. came back across the country and finally landed in Alabama at the end of the war with 2 saddlebags full of money. Lots and lots of money. Problem was, it was Confederate money. What can you say? My grandpa was a grifter, a gambler and a heel. He snuck around from town to town and he dealt a dirty deal. He went out in the wild world to steal what he could steal. And you know he stole a fortune, but the money wasn't real. No, the money wasn't real. Funny how it was, you know now the money wasn't real. He set out as a bandit, he came back empty-handed. He should have been a rich man, but the money wasn't real. Now the Pharaoh was a miser, this story has been told. He had 10,000 workers build a pyramid to hold all his statues and his trappings and his caskets and his gold. You know he wanted to have everything, but all he got was old, 'cause none of it was real. Funny how it was, you know now, none of it was real. His monument so grand just got covered up by sand. Now he's just another mummy man, 'cause none of it was real. A poor man buys a loaf of bread and he shares it and it's gone. A rich man wrecks his portion, yet his wealth keeps rolling on. And the good things that you've said and done are nothing you can pawn. 'Cause when you're in the underclass, you're always overdrawn, 'cause the money isn't real. Funny how it is, you know now the money isn't real. You can follow all the rules made by idiots for fools, and you think you'll get your just reward, but you won't. You won't pick up a penny, oh, but you might spare a dime. A dollar buys a pretty meager way to waste your time. A C note gets you groceries, and a grand might buy a thrill. You might rake in a shitload and still not get your fill. I live in America, a country built on greed, and I suppose that's not a bad thing if you just take what you need. But it seems everyone's afflicted by a hunger to exceed. Why should one man have a billion when there's a million mouths to feed? 'Cause the money isn't real. Funny how it is, you know now the money isn't real. You can burn it, you can earn it, oh, but in the end you'll learn that it all amounts to nothing. Now I bought me some insurance in case I pass away. I've heard that could happen, and who am I to say? I might live forever and they'd never have to pay. Shit, who would be the loser then if it all turned out that way? 'Cause the money isn't real. Funny how it is, you know now the money isn't real. You can spend it, you can lend it, but you'll find that in the end it all amounts to nothing. Yes, it's funny how it all amounts to nothing. So funny how it all amounts to nothing, 'cause the money isn't. So, I guess the moral of this story is don't take it too seriously. Don't take it and don't rob the wrong stagecoach. Always good advice. Don't rob the same stagecoach. Alrighty, it's, you know, every once in a while you gotta do a Dylan song. This is one of my favorites. My love, she speaks like silence, without ideals of violence. She doesn't have to say she's faithful, but she's true like ice, like fire. People carry roses, they make promises by the hour. My love laughs like the flowers, Valentines can't buy her. In the dime stores and bus stations, people talk of situations, read books, repeat quotations, draw conclusions on the wall. Some speak of the future. My love, she speaks softly. She knows there's no success like failure, and failure's no success at all. Now the cloak and dagger dangles. Madams light the candles, and ceremonies of the horsemen only the palm must hold a grudge. Statues made of matchsticks, they tumble into one another. My love, she laughs, she does not bother. She knows too much to argue or to judge. Now the bridge at midnight trembles. The country doctor rambles. Bankers' nieces seek perfection, expecting all the gifts that wise men bring. The wind howls like a hammer. The night blows cold and rainy. My love is like some raven at my window with a broken wing. At my window with a broken wing. Perfectly beautiful Bob Dylan song. And people who doubt Bob Dylan need to listen to those particular tunes. I think that's from Highway 61 Revisited, or it might be from the one right before that. This is funny here. I didn't have a music stand, and so I took binder clips. My wife and I make everything out of binder clips. In fact, we built a robot that vacuums our floor. The robot is made entirely out of binder clips and coat hangers that have been twisted and wound together, operated by a lithium battery cell and an old Mac central processing unit to guide him across the carpets. Anyway, so it's made out of 1, 2, 3 binder clips, and I turned one of the binder clips sideways. You see how this looks here. I don't know. Can you see this thing? There you go. And then I put a chopstick, because that's something else you use when you're building things. Chopsticks, binder clips, coat hangers. And the result is is pretty fucking silly. Pretty fucking silly. Okay, well, I had a request, and that request came in from my dear friend Lenny Molotov, and it's another original song that also relates to my book Dead Man's Coat, which was my grandfather's story. And I wrote the novel over a period of about 7 or 8 months, and I'm more used to being a songwriter than a novelist, so when I couldn't think of what I had to write, I would pick up my guitar and write a song, or finish a song that had long been unfinished. This particular song is dedicated to an old prospector you can find in the book who decides that there's a better way to get the gold than wandering around in the desert with a mule. Rattlesnake waits in the shadow of a rock. Field mouse hides from the eyes of a hawk. Cactus stands like a statue of a man. Him and me and my horse named Dan on a dusty road. Indian watching from a switchback ridge. Ghost riders running up a cloudy bridge. Twilight stealing in a corner of the sky. Riding along, thinking by and by I'll put down my load. Give me sweet fresh water now, and give me a cool, cool breeze. Let me lay my head down in a grove of shady trees. I want a big white house with a pretty little wife inside, and a moonlight palomino I can ride. There's a ghost town down where the creek ran dry. Buzzards circled in the hard blue sky. Dusty old bar, empty bottles on the shelf. Piano in a corner that plays itself. It's a spooky sound. I hitched my horse to an old fence rail. fetched up water in a leaky pail. I'm gonna get out of town before the daylight fails. I don't wanna stick around. Give me sweet fresh water now, and give me a cool, cool breeze. Let me lay my head down in a grove of shady trees. I'd like a big white house with a pretty little wife inside, and a moonlight palomino I can ride. Jackrabbit runs from the scattering stones. Blackbird cries to rattle your bones. Cow skull laying by a watering hole. Don't drink there, you might lose your soul in the burning sun. I left my home and I can't go back. Wildflower growing in a wagon wheel track. Dry wind coming down from the hills, looking for a place a waterfall spills when the day is done. Give me sweet fresh water now, and give me a cool, cool breeze. Let me lay my head down in a grove of shady trees. I'd like a big white house with a pretty little wife inside, and a moonlight palomino I can ride. Here you go, the Moonlight Palomino. Yes, you're right. It was from Bringing It All Back Home. Thank you for correcting my faulty Dylanography there. So I move that one up to there. Number 0. Oh, okay. Well, this is a tune since I started live streaming, I've been reminded of songs that I've loved over the years that I'd forgotten I did. And I was thinking about one of my favorite songwriters, Nilsson, and thinking, what song could I do? When I remembered this wonderful song from Nilsson's first album. She sang hymns out of tune, carried a yellow balloon, traded her love for a Spanish doubloon, and talked to the people who are. She lived in a sorcerer's room. She pounded the table and brandished the broom. She turned 10,000 when she touched the moon, and talked to the people who are. Now I have a clock on my wall, keeps time, and that isn't all. It tells me how long she's been gone to the people who are. She lived in a sorcerer's room. She pounded the table and brandished a broom. She turned 10,000 when she touched the moon, and talked to the people who are. Well, the rain came and scattered away the old antique caretaker's children that day. Later that evening she passed away, away to the people who are. Away to the people who are. Me, I just love a cryptic song. I guess that qualifies. I guess that qualifies. Alrighty. Here's a tune from the old village days. Village days. Hope you're having a good time. I'm having a great time. I just love playing music, and it's keeping me sane. I hope it's helping you get through your day. You folks, my regulars, and I love you all so very, very much for being here. I never expect you to have to do this thing down here. If you do, it's always appreciated. But more important would be to tell others that my live stream is worth listening to, because people, a lot of people are doing live streams, and some of it's okay, and some of it's, they're not used to talking into the computer and playing without an audience. I've learned how to deal with that, thanks to some very good direction from my brilliant wife. There are no actresses, there are actors. There are no poetesses, there are poets. They're people. They are the people who are. And that said, this tune here belongs to Jerry Merrick, and everybody in the village did this song at one time or other. Let the river rock you like a cradle. Climb up to the treetops, child, if you are able. Let your hands tie a knot across the table. Come and touch the things you cannot feel. And fold your fingertips and fly where I can't hold you. Let the sun rain fall, let the dewy clouds enfold you. Maybe you can sing to me the things that I just told you, for the things you touch and what they seem. Then don't mind me, 'cause I ain't nothing but a dream. The mockingbird sings each different song. Each song has wings and won't stay long. Do those who hear him think he's doing wrong? While the church bell tolls its one-note song, hear the school bells tinkling to the throng. Come here where ears cannot hear, and close your eyes, child, and listen while I tell you. Follow in your darkest night whatever dreams impel you. If the song that I am singing may disturb or serve to quell you, if all the things you hear ain't what they seem, don't mind me, I ain't nothing but a dream. The rising smell of fresh cut grass, smothered cities choke and yell in fuming gas. I hold some grapes up to the sun. Their flavor breaks upon my tongue. With eager tongues we taste our strife and fill our lungs with seeds of life. Come and smell and taste the waters of our times, and close your lips, child, that softly I might kiss you. Let your flower perfume out and let the winds caress you. As I walk through the garden, I'm hoping I won't miss you, if all the things you hear ain't what they seem. Then don't mind me, 'cause I ain't nothing but a dream. The sun and the moon, they both are right. We'll see them soon in days of night, while silver leaves on mirrors bring delight. The color of your eyes is fiery bright. See the darkness fill the sky with all its light. Come see where your eyes cannot see. And close your eyes, child, and listen while I show you. Let your mind go reeling out and let the breezes blow you. Maybe when we meet again, then suddenly I'll know you. If all the things you see ain't what they seem, just don't mind me, I ain't nothing but a dream. And you can follow, and you can follow, yes you can follow, yes you can follow. In my opinion, that's on the short list of the most beautiful songs ever written. And so many people do such a great job on that song. This is a song I haven't played in years and years and years. I was wandering through my old notebooks, thinking about my old band, the Central Park Sheiks. You heard the Sheiks at the beginning of this broadcast. That was a recording of The Wind of the Pines, which was on Honeysuckle Rose, the first and only Sheiks album, which was a flop in America, but a big hit in Japan. Go figure that. Blackbird sitting on a fence post, laughing like he knows some kind of joke. I fail to see what's so funny. My whole world just went up in smoke. Won't you let me in on the joke? Scarecrow dancing in a cornfield, dancing while the wind blows him around. Sometimes I feel like that scarecrow, watching over my dry patch of ground, while the wind just blows me around. There's a strange kind of music in the branches of the trees, like a song on a broken guitar. And those crows on a fence don't make any more sense than some crazy fools in a bar who sing a broke-down honky-tonk waltz. Blackbird flies over to the scarecrow. It doesn't scare him a bit. It just sits on his shoulder to mock him and laughs at his own senseless wit. That scarecrow doesn't scare him a bit. Blackbird, fly away from my shoulder. Blues, fly away from my heart. I've had this shadow upon me, darling, since we've been apart. Whoa, blues, fly away from my heart. There's a strange kind of music on the branches of the trees, like a song on a broken guitar. And those crows on a fence don't make any more sense than some crazy fools in a bar who sing a broke-down honky-tonk waltz. A broke-down honky-tonk waltz. It's good to discover an old song like that. Added it to my list of songs I should do more frequently. Well, there you go, Josephine. I haven't sung it much. In fact, I don't think never in your presence have I sung that song. That's my lovely wife, Josephine, chiming in there. That song probably is new to all of you here because I haven't played it in years. And here's a tune I know a lot of my listeners like. I had not intended to do so many original songs, but when I decided to kind of lean toward the country and the folk country side of my repertoire, I'm reminded that I wrote a lot of songs like that. I've just come down to tell you about some music that I've heard. The band that plays on weekends down at Eddie's Crossroads Bar. They live out behind the diner in a bus that's up on blocks. If they ever get it rolling, I believe that they'll go far. And their leader's Alexander with his double-neck guitar, who comes from Spain by way of San Francisco. And his girlfriend is Elena from the hills of Bogota. When he met her, she was dancing in a disco. And the name of the band is the Sad Spanish Man and the Beautiful Indian Girl. Now their drummer is Matsui, he's a Japanese Hawaiian. He grew up playing country blues in Memphis, Tennessee. He drops his one right before the beat and then he kicks the 2 and 4. And sometimes you can find him with a banjo on his knee. And there's Jazzy Jan from Amsterdam, who fills in all the leads on the saxophone, sitar, and balalaika. And Brooklyn Bob's the sound man, he's the master of the mix. He could put a shine on 1956 Formica. Oh, now these are the pieces that make up their sound and the people that make up their world. The name of the band is the Sad Spanish Man and the Beautiful Indian Girl. Oh, now Eddie tries to manage them, but he doesn't have a clue about the market niche where he should try to sell them. When the business people ask him about the bag they occupy, he doesn't have a notion what to tell them. There's a taste of gypsy's Zydeco and a hint of western swing, some polka, blues, and psychedelic soul. Throw in some mariachi and a lick of folky funk, and your mama and your papa's are rock and roll. It's a crazy quilt pattern, kaleidoscope, rainbow design on the flag they unfurl. The name of the band is the Sad Spanish Man and the Beautiful Indian Girl. It's lyrics like the Beatles, they've got lyrics like the Dead. They've got lyrics like the Kingsmen where you're not sure what they said. Oh, but when they start to harmonize, all the angels shut their mouth. It's all about the unity of North, East, West, and South. Oh, these are the pieces that make up their sound and the people that make up their world. The name of the band is the Sad Spanish Man and the Beautiful Indian Girl. It's a crazy quilt pattern, kaleidoscope, rainbow design on the flag they unfurl. And the name of the band is the Sad Spanish Man and the Beautiful Indian Girl. There's a very nice recording, by the way, of that tune to be found on my album, which you can find at Bandcamp. The album that is on is called The Pop Cycle, and it represents a lot of songs with some really serious studio work in them. Nice mixes of multiple instruments, and some of my more pop-oriented music can be found on there. I'm really proud of that album, and if you want to hear more of that, just go to Bandcamp, bertlee.bandcamp.com, and you can listen. You don't even have to pay to listen. And if you want to download one, the fee is nominal, but the sweet thing about Bandcamp is they give me most of the money. Unlike Spotify, where you get like 0.0047 cents each time somebody clicks it. Anytime somebody buys an album or song, I get 80% of it. And on Fridays, they don't take any cut at all. So if you feel like supporting my music and you haven't already got some of my tunes in your machinery, you can find them there. And let's get back to here. Sometimes I'm forgetful and I forget to change these screens, but I'm not doing that. I'm being smarter than usual today. This is another tune that was written around the same time as the sad Spanish man. And I won't even tell you what it's about. You're a bus driver bound from the lights of the city through the quiet of little towns lost in the night. Exits and off-ramps and neon-lit diners, and the bright eyes of rabbits like stars on the roadside. And the radio reminds you of all that's behind you. Your poor eyes are dazzled by the oncoming lights. The white line goes through you. You don't know now, do you, why the good folks won't turn down their brights. Through the long night the dark traffic sighs. What color are the bus driver's eyes? Puzzles and riddles and cats that play fiddles, and children that change in the rays of the moon. The little dog laughed just to see such a sight, and the dish ran away with the media tycoon. Are we almost there yet? Why is the rain wet? And who spilled the stars on the velvety deeps? Digressions and questions and liars' confessions. Little Finnegan can't get to sleep. So many what-ifs and whys. What do you see when you shut down your eyes? There once was a maiden who escaped from her tower by cutting off all of her beautiful hair, and weaving a ladder she climbed from the bower and ran off and left not a note on the chair. There was an old farmer who traded his best cow for a hand-scribbled map and an old rusty key. The little dog wept just to hear such a tale, and the tears that he offered would fill up the sea. Through the long night the dark traffic rolls, and the night driver pet ferries our souls. Are we almost there yet? And why is the rain wet? And who spilled the stars on the velvety deeps? Look up out your window and watch the moon follow. Little Finnegan can't get to sleep. Now be a good fellow, go and waltz with the widow. Little Finnegan can't get to sleep. Little Finnegan. They're written around the same time as this song. At least the first half of this song was written around that time. And I left it, well, just like that Scarecrow song I sang a while ago, I let it go unsung for more than a decade, actually. And then I finished it. And it's going to be featured on my next album, which is called Swimming in Falling Water, and which will be engineered by my dear friend and engineer extraordinaire, Dan Simpson, who conspired on one of the greatest projects I've ever done back in the 90s. And he's throwing in his ears of gold to help me mix. And he's also offering arrangement ideas and filling in some parts that I have not done as well as he could. And it'll be a project I'm very proud of, me and Dan Simpson co-producing. In this world of trouble, child, Everyone has grown up wild, and sometimes I think there's nothing that can save us. We've turned our backs on one another, turned away from Earth, our mother, and squandered all the riches that she gave us. In every town and village, deep into the night, in their beds the restless sleepers turning. Down along the waterways and on the city walls, the nightmen work to keep the watchfires burning. Little darling, don't you have no fear. Don't you worry now, 'cause I'll be here just as sure as the white dove that spreads her wings to rise to the light that the morning brings, as sure as the changing of the moon, darling, soon. Soon your tears be over, darling, soon. Soon your tears be over, darling. In these days of hate and war, it's hard to know just who you are, or if there's something greater you belong to. Is there someone who will take your hand and try to help you understand, or only someone you can sing your broken song to? Sailors on the ocean praying for the sight of land, they look out to find the lighthouse angels sweeping. Babies in the cradle on the wings of lullaby, sweet sister, hold her safely in your keeping. Little darling, don't you have no fear. Don't you worry now, 'cause I'll be here, sure as the white dove that spreads her wings to rise to the light that the morning brings, as sure as the changing of the moon, darling, soon. Soon your tears be over, darling, soon. Soon your tears be over. Soon your tears be over, darling, soon. Soon your tears be over, darling. Soon your tears be over. Soon your tears be over. And I'm making good time here. Hello, Craig Durfee. Is that the same thing as Durf Durfee? Because what a pleasure to see you there. And if you're just related to Durf, nice to meet you. If it is Durf, I never knew your name was Craig. And hello, Sharon. Hello, sir. You people are sweet. Thank you for visiting with me. I usually do one of these on Saturday, 4 o'clock, and then on Sunday at 7 o'clock. However, tomorrow I've been invited to be part of a Zoom salon. Every year I go to Philadelphia to a salon run by my friend Andrea Clearfield, who's just an astonishingly brilliant composer who does like 4 or 5 commissioned works a year, writes symphonies, giant choral pieces. She writes classical, she writes super modern, she writes whatever that incredible thing that she's got going on in here and here just comes out. The music is beautiful. But she's also the eager host of this beautiful salon. I go every year. I'm one of the few songwriters that she invites. Mostly it's very, very serious jazz and classical and world music people. but I'm liked there, and they invited me to do this one tomorrow. It's a Zoom. And if you go to my Facebook page, which most of you should know, you will find reference to the link that will send you to the salon. So I would name it here, but it's a long URL. Just go to my Facebook page and join me at the salon, and I promise you, I'll just do a couple of songs about 3/4 of the way through, but the quality of music you're going to hear at that salon is just mind-boggling, and it's an honor to be considered good enough to be a part of that thing. And here's another song that I wrote in parts over a couple of years' time. I wrote the first half of this song, but I had no idea what the song was really about until we all got locked down with COVID, and suddenly this... Days and weeks go slipping by. All the things we put off pile up. All the things we choose to do some other day, they can wait for Thursday. I had some chores to run today, household shopping bills to pay, do the dishes, clear the shelves, misery best kept to ourselves on Thursday. Buy some toothpaste, soap, and bread, all the ordinary life we've led. Make a list and get it done before it slips away, my son, it's Thursday. Then the clouds, they opened over me, and the crowd, it parted like the sea, sent me down an unfamiliar path. Seeing you, I simply had to laugh. Never thought I would find my way. Never thought I would find my way. Never thought I would find my way on Thursday. There's too much to hold inside. All the things we keep in build up, all the secrets choose to face some other time, they come to mind on Thursday. I had some calls to make today, obligations, bills to pay, clear the record, make amends, try to make it all make sense on Thursday. Expectations, hopes, and dreads, where the worries in our life have led. Make a list and change your ways before your chances slip away, it's Thursday. Then the clouds, they opened over me, and the crowd, it parted like the sea, sent me down an unfamiliar path. Seeing you, I simply had to laugh. Never thought I would find my way. Never thought I would find my way. Never thought I would find my way on Thursday. That's Nothing Ever Happens on Thursday. And that, once again, you will find that on my upcoming album, Swimming in Falling Water, co-produced by the wonderful Dan Simpson. Let me see who's visiting me. Well, your secret is safe with me, Craig, not to be known as Durf, or Durf, not to be known as Craig, will consider them to be two separate human beings, because you equal at least two people, in my opinion. Let's see, you got any more folks at the list here? Sweet, sweet. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for listening to my music. God bless you all. This is a song that I have not wanted to do recently because this guy gets too much airtime in the first place. But I like the song. And it's political. As much as a song about a snake oil salesman can be considered political. I fear the coming of the frost. The mountains burn, the world is lost. I hear the drumming of the rain, the bloody course, the river stain. A beggar comes to haunt my door, and turned away she speaks of war with words that summon from the grave the ghosts of those I cannot save. Let every forgetting the lyrics to my song. I'm not going to do it. That's my subconscious telling me, don't do that song. I'll be releasing it on Swimming in Falling Water unless I decide it's not a good idea to give this guy any more airtime. And I'm right. I think my basic feeling is I'm right. Don't give this guy any more airtime. He abuses that. Alrighty. What will I do? Since I'm not going to do that, this is a lively little tune. I'm going to end up with a couple of nice tunes for the jazz side of my repertoire. And if that's okay with you. And this tune is a tune that the Central Park Sheiks used to do all the time. I'm a shipwrecked man in a sea of trouble, watching the rain make crazy puzzles on the window pane. In a sea of rain, how do you stay dry? When I'm down, I go put on a record, even if I've heard that song too many times before. I play it one time more, it still makes me cry. She's gone, she left no number to call. She's gone, and lately I ain't seen her at all again. And all I do is watch the rain. She's gone, she left no number to call. She's gone, and lately I ain't seen her at all again. And all I do is watch the rain. And if I were a bird, I'd fly above this rain cloud. Where the sun is shining, I'd be flying high. At least I'd try, oh, if I were a bird, but I ain't. If you ain't heard, I'm just a shipwrecked man in a sea of trouble, watching the rain make crazy puzzles on the window pane. In a sea of rain, how do you stay dry? How do you stay dry? Central Park Sheiks, song by Bert Lee, first song on the album, Shipwrecked Man. Here's another swing type tune. This is a song by Django Reinhardt, Stephen Grappelli, and Bert Lee. They wrote the music. They died. Don't be shocked, it happens. And then I wrote the lyrics and this guitar arrangement, because I'm not going to try to play this thing as if I were Django, because for God's sakes, I'm not Django, okay? I just do the best I can. Well, it's springtime on the Champs-Élysées, little breeze stirring in the trees, and I'm listening to the birds and bees and thinking about my Daphne. You can keep your Spanish ladies, your Fraulines, and your Rose O'Grady. I'm as happy as a man can be just to have my Daphne. She's an eyeful, my oh my. You know she makes me want to flap and fly. Un, deux, trois. Can, man, oh man. There is nothing sweeter than her kisses, just like sips of wine. When she says she's mine, all mine, you know she leaves me speechless as a mime. Crazy about my Daphne. She's the rave of old King Louis, lacy dress and parapluie. Shout out, ooh la la and ooey. I'm crazy about my Daphne, with her kisses just like sips of wine. When she says she's mine, all mine, you know she leaves me speechless as a mime. And I'm crazy about her. Tweet tweet ba doo today. I love Paris every moment, yeah. Every moment of the year. I love Paris. Oh why do I love Paris? Because my love is near. Well, the time can go so slowly in a barroom late at night, where the people move like ghosts through the smoky candlelight. And the band is playing something that's got distance, man, they're cool. In the shadows of the back room, some old boys are playing pool. And this blue light music's got me sinking into deep amnesia. I get the funniest feeling, it must be deja vu. I tell you something, brother, just one time through will do. And it all comes back so clearly when I only stop to think. And on that note, I think I'll go and have myself another drink. And this blue light music's got me sinking into deep amnesia. There's a joke I'd like to tell you. They say my timing's off, and before I hit the punchline, I always take a drag and cough. And that's just another nasty habit that I really ought to break. Oh, but if I don't, you know that won't be my first mistake. Well, the bartender calls me buddy, and the waitress calls me hun. And the only song I request all night is Mother Nature's Son. Oh, but the band, they just can't swing to that, so they play some Miles instead. And these crazy syncopations are all just fucking with my head. And this blue light music's got me sinking into deep amnesia. Well, it's getting close to closing time. The bouncer starts to loom, and the manager's turning out all the lights around the room. And the chairs are on the table, and the band is getting paid. And I leave here trying to hang on to those memories that they played. And this blue light music's got me sinking into deep amnesia. This blue light music's got me sinking into deep amnesia. I'm going to leave you with some recorded music. Please stick around and listen to what I'm about to play for you. When I was down in Key West, I got exposed to lots of different kinds of music, and a dear friend of mine, Rolando Rojas, had a band called Carib Key West, and he's a fucking phenomenal guitar player, encouraged me to keep on playing, and taught me an awful lot of things. And he gave me this rhythm track, and he told me to record the lead on it, and that's what you're about to hear as I put my final screen up, which is my, my bid to people who come in and have never heard me before to, chip a few bucks in. But, you can ignore the words on the screen. Just listen to this, because it was a proud moment when I could play an electric guitar in the company of musicians like this. So this is coming right up here, support page. Me playing with Rolando Rojas Band, and you'll recognize the song. It's a classic. And I do bid you all a good night. Please enjoy this tune, and I'll see you next Saturday. And you come to the salon tomorrow, I'll see you there in the company of so many great musicians. And that's me playing electric guitar. Good night, everybody.